please stop listening to your friends. Do what you want. Stop listening to the advice of people that just got married. It's your day. You get to do what you want. Tell your mom to stop talking and just do what you want.
The mistake that I see is DIY.
I call it DIY and die because when you want to do it yourself, as cute as it is, the amount of time you invest in something is going to take away from your day.
We know that the DIY trend is very popular for quote unquote saving money, but in reality, it's really not gonna save you money. Who's going to be setting up that decor on the day of your wedding? Are you going to have time to actually put those pieces together? Researching about your DIY. The cost of the DIY actually might come out to be more than potentially hiring a vendor.
When you factor in time, and the energy and the effort, and then someone going to pick it up and then drop it off, and then at the end of the wedding, all of a sudden your groomsman is having to take the bookshelves that they brought from the thrift store. Again, not the best way you want to end your wedding.
I think the worst mistake you can make at your wedding is get high. I had one couple many years ago that decided to do some substance that I won't name, and they barely remembered their wedding. To spend so much money on your wedding, do something you probably shouldn't be doing at your wedding. Thinking you look fabulous, but actually you look like a hot mess. Genuinely being present without getting too drunk and leave substances at home.
Another mistake that I think couples make is putting too much activities, programming into your wedding day.
Especially for destination events when the agenda is so packed that you actually can't enjoy the destination that you are traveling to.
Try to just remember that when you're adding in 100 different activities, that they have to be executed, and all of those things take away from the actual point of the wedding, which is for you to enjoy yourselves.
One of the biggest mistakes I see that couples make during their wedding planning process is by not having a budget. A budget is the foundation to a stress-free planning process.
I think that the reason that a lot of people don't think about the budget or that they don't have a good understanding is just honestly probably from their parents or from social media or the internet or just not doing good research.
Do your research and then base your budget around that.
Because there will be concessions that need to be made.
I've had a couple come to me and they said, we don't have a wedding budget. And I said, great, I think you would spend $10 million. And they were like, oh, wait, we actually only want to spend $200,000. I was like, well, that's your wedding budget.
Not having a weather contingency plan. This is a huge one, especially if you're getting married in like any of the southern region states, like Louisiana, for instance.
The weather is not in our favor and things happen that you could never expect.
Please make sure the air conditioning is on during load in to load out. Make sure that you have air conditioning. And if you can't find air conditioning, find the venue person because you don't want to be hot on your wedding day.
I haven't had any that didn't have a rain plan because it's in my contract that we have to have one, but I have seen horror stories of people who don't have a rain plan and it does rain and it's pretty bad and it's just terrible.
One mistake I see couples make when planning their wedding is inviting too many people. When I say that, they think that they need to invite every single person they've ever known.
For example, I invited coworkers to my wedding that I don't speak to anymore. I think with destination, it gets more complicated, on the planning aspect of it as well. When you have a large guest list, there's a lot more logistical parts to consider. Sometimes it's even just getting from point A to point B.
You want your wedding day to be filled with people that you love and that have been there for you and that are going to be supportive of your journey. And so I think you should only invite people that check those boxes.
I would say the biggest one for me personally is when a couple doesn't do their first reveal. What you're doing is you're kind of getting those nerves out on your first reveal, and it's much more intimate than most people think. It's good to just get those jitters out of the way.
Not reading a contract. A lot of times cancellation policies aren't really clear, making sure the right date and time are listed on your contract and that the services that your vendor are gonna provide is actually outlined within that contract. Sometimes couples rush into making decisions and they'll just sign anything. Make sure you understand everything that you are signing on before submitting a deposit.
You're not gonna be able to please 50, 100, or 150 people. And yes, we wanna cater to our guests, make sure they're happy as well. But at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. It's the one day in your life you get to really think about yourselves and what makes you happy.
Really, the only things you have to have for your wedding are two people that are in love and someone who is licensed to officiate and sometimes a witness. And that's the only requirements that you need. Everything else is optional. And so You should do whatever makes you happy.
And listen to your heart, listen to your brain, listen to what you and your partner want to do, because that's what the day is about. It's about you two. The big investment you're making, you should definitely enjoy your day.